Hello and welcome everybody. Another day here at FSL Wild Rift Open featuring League of Legends Wild Rift. My name is Infinity and together with me is Dash. And Dash, we're now here for the lower bracket finals and the grand finals.
Cold day right now. It's a very cold day, but hey, it's gonna be an interesting fight because we have Peekachu versus MDH Esports in this next coming series. And I'm excited to see how they are gonna be going, or at least the drafting. I'm excited with the drafting because yesterday we had a lot of problems with the drafting when it comes to a lot of other teams. Peekachu was really great. Kitsune was also great yesterday, but here it's MDH Esports we're talking about, and also Peekachu, also a strong drafter in their own right.
Yeah, and we saw the games yesterday go in for like 2-0 consistently each and every single one. Maybe 2-1 for one series with UGH Guardians up against Upside Down, but all throughout FSL Wild Rift Open for this year, it's always been 2-0. And I'm excited to see like how would this turn out for today's matchups.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how they're going to be going around this, especially for all of this series. We have seen the adventures of our teams from their whole series, their whole run right here, Infinity. It's been really long for Pikachu until, I mean, since yesterday, they've been fighting against a lot of these other teams, and MDH Esports also just got down from the lower brackets because it's such a great fight that they had with City Dogs. It's still a 2-0. I mean, City Dogs is just so good at this game, and that's why they haven't had any big losses just yet.
Yeah, definitely. I think City Dogs right now is the best female team that touched League of Legends Wild Rift. I think this is the perfect
Yeah,
team, right? They were the
definitely.
ones who brought down a lot of these lower bracket teams in FSL Wild Rift Open. Pikachu, for one, has been brought down by City Dogs. Kitsune, for another. And then MDH Esports in the upper bracket finals. And right now, it is MDH up against Pikachu to battle it out to go to the grand finals.
Yeah, and again, it's been a great time. It's been a great time since we started our cast here, Infinity, and I hope that we would be able to get a lot more going through for us here.
Yeah, for sure. And now, Dash, since we've seen yesterday's matchups, we've seen yesterday's drafts, any expectations when it comes to priority picks, priority bans coming
Honestly,
into the
yesterday
series?
I'm surprised because we had a lot of picks with Wukong coming in their drafts, and even Anami always getting picked from all of the drafts that we had yesterday. So there's a lot of priority when it comes to those champions. Maybe on this season, maybe a bit different with Pikachu, at least Wukong and also Anami is going to be a big priority. How about you?
Yeah, for sure. I think I do agree with that aspect. We have like a huge priority on Nami and the likes. And I think on top of that, coming into the series today, some champions that I expect would be the traditional type of champions. Camille, Aatrox, Yone, Karma, if it's not banned away, would also be picked up. Because these champions are really strong in the current meta.
And again, there's a lot of this champions, and I've watched a lot of yesterday's games too, and also the games that leagues that we're having right now. A lot of leagues are constantly fighting right now in Wild Rift, and I'm excited to see if ever the ladies in the FSL would be able to pull off those champions as the Zoe. That's something that I'm really excited for. Zoe in the bot lane is a really strong pick. Not as strong in the wave compared to a Ziggs, but is still strong in their own right with just the amount of pokes and also the amount of summoner spells you can get, especially that this is Wild Rift. The cooldown of the summoner spells are way shorter compared to PC.
Yeah, and something that's interesting though is that we haven't seen Zoe so far yesterday's matchup in
Yeah,
yesterday's series. It's
yeah.
always been these traditional ADCs. We've seen maybe a couple of APC having the Morgana going into the bot lane, but more so having that Tristana priority, Ezreal priority. And now the question is, are we going to see Zoe today? As you've mentioned, the power of this specific champion. So I'm really excited. We have a lot more champions that we have to discover a bit. We still haven't seen Kane. I mean, Kane is a new champion, well, in the recent patches, and we haven't seen it here in FSL.
Yeah, and again, it's a Kane is really not a big priority right now, especially even
Hmm.
in League PC. Kane hasn't been a big
Yeah.
priority when it comes to the competitive scene because Kane could easily be countered compared to a lot of the other champions that we have right now in the game. That's the reason why Kane is not good. But in solo queue, Kane is very strong. Kane is very good at wave clear, very good at keeping the enemies at bay. But here in the bigger scene, Lilia has been getting a lot more priority, like what she did when she actually just came out from League PC2.
Yeah, definitely. I think these team fight champions are the ones that gets the higher positions or the higher priority
Yeah,
coming into the
definitely.
series. So far from yesterday's matchups, we've seen the junglers such as Wukong come through, Nunu and Willem from time to time as well to have that power in the early game, even Vi in some aspect for that ganking potential early mid game.
Yeah.
So that could be an expectation coming into the drafts today, especially that we have like a couple of BO5 series on our hands.
Yeah, and again, the best of five series that we're gonna be having later on in the grand finals. I'm excited to how it's all gonna work right now. But here in the lower bracket finals, um, I have a lot of expectations, especially for Pikachu, that we have
Mm,
seen a lot of their games because they
yeah.
have been pretty great with how they play around. B35 also going down against them, and they also defeated Kitsune, who yesterday had a really great game too, a 2-0 against UGH Guardians.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the game one was a little bit too close for
Yeah,
their liking.
it
It was a
is.
little
Yeah.
bit too close. But in game two, they were very, very dominant. They were landsliding the opposing team. So far, a lot of these power comes through from maybe the early to mid game. I think that is the pattern that we've seen yesterday's matchups. Then you have these early game, mid game control. And then if you have that composition, or well, if you have that foundation already built up, then you're going to be so strong towards that late game. So a balance of these champions coming into the draft would be very important as well.
I mean, honestly, the storyline of this for the FSL is very interesting for me, Infinity, because I've been a long time fan of this anime called Pokemon, right? So
For sure.
right now with Pikachu going through a lot of these battles, going through the lower brackets, are they gonna be doing the same thing as
Hmm.
what they did in the anime? Because here it's basically like that. Because they have been here on the lower brackets, they've been winning a lot of these games. They only lost to this champion, which is City Dogs too. So
Hmm.
are they gonna be having that revenge and are gonna be crowned like how Ash Ketchum has been crowned together with his Pikachu? Yeah, so
Yeah.
excited to see how this is gonna go.
Yeah, and the thing is, well, Ash in that aspect took 10 years to become like world champion.
Yeah,
So
it's been, at least for us, it's been a year, right?
for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So maybe in that aspect, Pikachu like
Mhm.
maybe has that opportunity to go into the lower bracket and rise up to become the champions right now
Yeah.
and defeat
Mm.
arguably the best team in FSL
Yeah.
Rift Open.
Yeah, honestly, it's basically the same storyline here. If ever, during that time, also in that anime, Leon was the best that they had there in the World Coronation Series. But here in the FSL, City Dogs have been always the best right here in the FSL and always has been the strongest. Are they? Basically, this is the underdog story that we have, but they also have someone that they need to defeat, which is here, MDH Esports. They need to defeat MDH Esports, but MDH Esports isn't a slack either. MDH Esports is a strong team and it's a full Vietnam team, and we all know how strong Vietnam is in Wild Rift and even in League of Legends PC.
Yeah, for sure. And something that is going to top that all off as well when it comes to
Mhm.
like the interest aspect of things is that we haven't seen MDH Esports play from yesterday's series. We have only seen Pikachu
Exactly. Yeah.
come and rise up to battle it up from lower bracket round 4, defeating RXA Ragnarok, coming into lower bracket round 5, defeating D35T1, and then later on defeating Kitsune, which was an absolute dominant team in the lower bracket round 5 as well, beating UGH Guardian in a 2-0 game, in a 2-0 series. So
Yeah.
in that aspect, we know how Pikachu plays. And this is, when it comes to history, really strong as a team. A second place SEA Games Singapore roster that has been
Yeah.
quite dominant so far, except for losing against City Dogs. So I'm really curious so far to how this lower bracket finals would go.
Yeah, and also they have a history from the last Open 5, Pikachu was able to defeat them by 0-2, which is a really big thing too. So this is basically a revenge match for the last time that they fought each other. So this is gonna be very exciting. Is Pikachu gonna be the dominating team that they have been before, or will MDH Esports carry on the revenge and just take the coronation by themselves and be crowned the queens of the FSL for this Wild Rift Open? But we're still at the point in where City Dogs is still a big threat, because right now, looking at the brackets, they have been perfect. They have been pretty great so far here, and they haven't lost a single game.
Yeah, and you know what? We're talking about all about these games, all about the champions, and what these teams have when it comes to history. But right now, we're here in the series. So we're bracket finals. The draft is ready.
Yeah.
The expectations can now be met or denied by both these teams.
Yeah. And again, this is going to be different here. With what we had yesterday from the bans, Camille has always been a big threat from all these games. I mean, she has been left open for quite a bit. And I like the priority when it comes to these teams to the utilities. Of course, they've been banning the Yumi, the Karma, and even the Lulu. They're always banning it because they don't want these capabilities of just enabling a lot of these carry champions that they always put out here in the jungle or even on the Baron lane side of the map.
For sure. And right now, just speeding all throughout the bans here, we have Camille, Fiora, Karma, Yumi. We haven't seen Yumi yesterday been played out, but we've seen Fiora, Camille, and Karma being pushed through. So these are high priority bans that we're seeing here in FSL Wild Rift Open. And to touch things off for MDH Esports, they're going to ban away Lilia.
Yeah. I mean, Lilia, yesterday I've watched a bit of the WRLA games, and wow, Lilia is a monster on the right hands, Infinity. And I'm afraid if ever Lilia comes out here, the Lilia would just be dominating. But right now, with what we have on hand, the Jace is available, and I like that MDH Esports got the priority, and Jace has been picked already.
Yeah, and Veigar to follow through, a hover by Peekachu. We haven't seen them play this yesterday, but this is going to be an interesting pickup. And as you stated, Lilia has been that dominant champion, because if you hit that Lilith Lullaby, if you're able to just sleep a couple of members from the enemy team, you immediately have that innate advantage. Right now, Corki will be picked up though by Peekachu.
Yeah, Corki is gonna get picked. Lucian is available if ever they need to, or the Yone could potentially get picked here by the side of Peekachu, because Yone is also quite a strong, not quite, I mean, it's a very strong champion, but want to go for comfort, and Peekachu just picked up the Corki Nami. So MDH Esports has a lot of leeway to just pick the champions that are very strong right now. Picking up the Jax wants the insurance for the late game. And even if they have the Corki, I think the Jax is also a good way to just be sure that the late game is secured for the team.
Yeah, and this is what I call a draft. Jace, Jax coming into Ziggs, and then Peekachu picks up Corki and Nami. This is really interesting, because so far MDH Esports, Jace and Jax, AD champions, and these are really strong. Jace early game, mid game, Jax going to late game, and Ziggs would be sufficing that missing puzzle for MDH Esports on the AP category of things in this game 1.
Yeah. In this game 1, one of the things that you should be really sure of is that they need to pick their comfort. That's the reason why, yeah, okay, the area is good, because Pikachu has been winning with the area, and also the Corki Nami. If they know that these things are working in their favor, you don't need to change anything. If ever it doesn't work for the next game, you still have a chance, because this is a best of 3, and it's not as taxing as a best of 5, in where you lose 2 series, you're out. You're basically just gonna have a hard time getting that comeback. But here, in a best of 3, it's easy to get back there.
Yeah, for sure. So right now, we're now going to proceed towards the second phase bans here. Nautilus being removed by Peekachu, one of the high priority supports. What we've seen yesterday to be played out really well. Right now, Thresh is still open to be picked up by MDH Esports, considering that Ziggs is really the most mobile champion to go into the bottom lane if it goes down to it. MDH Esports still banning away Aatrox away from Peekachu.
Yeah, having the Nautilus is going to be a really hard fight if ever you have a Nautilus on your team. A Gragas and a Galio is still available for the side of MDH Esports. They can pick that up safely for their side, but with Peekachu, still have a lot of options for the jungle. I was thinking about the Olaf a while ago, but right now it's not gonna be there. They still have the Yone, as they said, and the Gwen. If ever they would need a little bit more damage, but I think this composition already, they don't need a lot more. They just need the couple that we see. See, a Vi would be a good pick here.
Anuna and Willem is also open. Right now, Pikachu's draft is really squishy, so they need something on the front lines, and what you've stated are open.
Went with the
Kha'Zix will be that
Kha'Zix.
pick, though.
Interesting. They went with the Kha'Zix even if they do have a lot of damage anyway. If MDH Esports is going to be continuing with this draft that they don't have, or rather, they do have a lot of engage tools in their belt, it would be good though. But the problem there is the members of Pikachu could just run away and just kite them out whenever it happens. But if MDH Esports are going to be adding a lot more CC here, that would not be a problem because Pikachu won't be able to get away.
Yeah, and something to add to that as well. Remember, Pikachu also has Corki. So MDH Esports, if Jax comes in, Wukong comes in, Jace even comes in with a melee weapon,
Oh,
Corki
that's
can just
big.
Gatling gun against the enemy team, and our Rakan will be locked in by MDH.
That's great. Honestly, there has been a Gragas and a Galio available. I was expecting a bit more of the Gragas and the Galio, but with a Rakan, there's a bit of a room for error here for MDH Esports. But if they would be able to pull it off, it would be very beautiful. And that's what I want to see from MDH Esports with Pikachu. What are they going to go here for? Because they still have... Okay.
Mhm.
The Garen
like
could have been good. Honestly, Garen is good, yes. But what I'm thinking of supposedly was something with a bit of CC. I was expecting a bit more of a set. Because the set could really help them out when it comes to the CC. But the Garen, as long as they have the pressure that the Jax is not going to have an easier time, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what they're missing from that final pick would be a frontliner, because so far, like Kha'Zix, Ari, Corki, Nami, really, these champions have so much damage but lack in the defensive category. And Garen would suffice that. And I think picking it up would be decent and would be good enough to be that sponge for the team.
Yeah. Would be able to carry this. The Garen does have a lot of tankiness. Gonna go Hullbreaker for the first item and be the menace that the Garen is every time. Whenever you see a Garen, it's really hard to fight against them. But if ever MDH Esports would be able to pull off this combo, it would be really good. They don't have a lot of insurance for the late game except for the Jax. But the other thing is, they have a lot of damage from the side of Pikachu. Not actually a bit resource heavy for most of their champions, which is not a problem. Because yesterday we've seen them go with resource heavy champions and still was able to pull it off.
Yeah, so we'll see. Because right now, this is the lower bracket finals. Game number 1 between MDH Esports and Peekachu. And we talked a lot about this history, about the playstyle that they have. MDH Esports, we haven't seen yet, but I'm really excited. This will be the tempo changer for both these teams for this game 1. Whoever wins this has the confidence to go through and push through.
Yeah, they would be able to push through there. And also, it's not going to be a problem for them. If they're going to get in game right now, what they can do here is because of the amount of AoEs from the side of MDH Esports, it's really hard to get in. Pikachu just needs to be very active when it comes to their composition because they don't have a lot of tools to engage in fights. They should just let MDH Esports do their own thing. But bot lane,
Wow. Look at this aggression.
1
Ziggs
HP.
and Rakan
Bomb.
going for the bomb. The first blood secured.
First blood secured, and they started it as they are expected to be because they don't have a lot of things going in for them at the early stages of the game. For the side of Pikachu, was easy enough to just get a grand entrance, get the bouncing bombs in. Pikachu just lost 1 life, a first blood onto a Ziggs. That's not great.
Yeah, and I love it. It's an immediate exhaust ignite from Rakan and Ziggs, and the Nami can't do nothing. There's no heal coming through because of the ignite that reduces the amount of heals coming through for Aya. So that first blood was phenomenal coming from MDH.
Yeah, great start for the members right here of MDH Esports, because with that, it's going to be an easier lane for the Ziggs here in the bot side, because if they're going to be having a hard time a while ago, Ziggs would just be poked out of their minds because it's a Nami Corki. As it's basically like a Lucian Nami, but because it's a Ziggs in the bot lane, it's not going to be as easy here.
Yeah, and I love how you mentioned about it's not going to be that easy, because the thing is about Ziggs is that Ziggs is probably one of the champions that has the best wave clear in the game. So
Yeah.
you just have to play it safe. You can just throw out bombs and just play it under the turret. So Corki and Nami wouldn't really have that opportunity to go for an all-in type of pressure that could definitely kill Ziggs.
Yeah, and that is the magic of the Ziggs here. And the Lucian Nami, the Corki Nami, the reason why they picked this up is because they want to get the pressure in the early game. Yes, they're not the best champion to do that, but this is just very hard because the Ziggs is just going to be mitigating the lane, making it easy for themselves. But oh, the flash in!
Kha'Zix to roam into the mid lane. Jace is in danger, uses up the flash to go back to safety. No kills for Peekachu.
No kills. Have it easy here. And with how they're starting for Peekachu, they're trying their best to get something out of nothing here. They're trying to make some magic against MDH Esports. They want to get a kill. They want to get that early game just for the Kha'Zix to have the better advantage against the Wukong.
Ooh. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? It's a huge wave diving under the top lane up against Garen. So this is really good for Jax.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be crashing, but it's a good thing that Garen is still here on the top side of the map. Not going to be a big crash, not going to be a disadvantage, but the level 5, this is when it starts though. The time in where the Jax and even the Garen gets a bit scarier, but the bot lane might be a bit more explosive because their Khan exists and their Khan could just start any fight here and just try to take down the Nami as fast as they could.
Right. Now, going into this one, Wukong is going for a potential gank into the bottom lane. Sneakily, Peekachu does not have any information, but considering his aggression coming in from the bot laners from MDH, Peekachu has that game sense that maybe there's something that's going on.
Yeah, might be able to start something into the bot's side, but it's a good thing they backed away. This is just going to be the platings coming in and also even denying a bit of the honey fruit there. Very good micro plays from the team, but what is going to be the objective here for MDH Esports? MDH Esports has the advantage when it comes to the first objectives because, as we said, resource-heavy champions from the side of Peekachu, and MDH Esports, this is going to be easier for them to just play around with. Because when you have the Jace, when you have the Jace and you have the Ziggs, a lot of AoE damage, not a lot of effort, but top side.
Going through, the Mash Injustice comes in, and Kha'Zix just finishes it off. First kill for Peekachu in this game number 1. And I like how you mentioned about the game, the first objectives. Because the only team fight CC that Peekachu has would be Nami.
Yeah, that's right. And with how they're going to be starting this Infinity, MDH Esports is just going to have an easier time because 5 minutes on the clock is going to be there. They do have their first items, which is good, but it's way more valuable for MDH Esports because these first items are actually item breakpoints for them. Peekachu, their item breakpoints are going to be coming in at 2 items. So that is a very big discrepancy for them. So they can have the advantage at the second objective. But this first objective, they just need to trade. Wherever MDH is, they just need to run away from that.
Yeah, we'll see. Because right now, coming into 5 minutes here, Dash, what champions and what players do we need to look at?
Yeah. Always need to look at the Rakan. Rakan would be the one starting this fight. After Rakan gets a grand entrance to the quickness, it would be easy enough to tell who's gonna win, especially if they got that to the Kha'Zix. They're starting already the Rift Herald.
Rift Herald being started. MDH Esports is there to contest. Tidal Wave is there to try and go and push them back. But Peekachu will be able to turn things around. They're able to get that 3 kills, and they're looking for more. The Prison is just perfect. And Garen in the front line silences that Ziggs. Peekachu gets the 4 kills.
What? That is great. That is great. Peekachu was able to mitigate all the CCs, all the damage coming in from them just because of one leap, just because of the presence of mind that they had. They pushed their referral back in behind the pit, and that's why they were still able to get the smite out there even if the position was not to their advantage. The package was also perfect, laid down like the carpet, red carpet for MDH Esports, and they burned through all of that, and that's why Peekachu got the win there.
Yeah, that was amazing. On top of that, with a Rift Herald that they were able to take, they just got a power for his blood in the mid lane at that point. So map control is hugely in their favor, and the gold is quite significant. 3k gold lead in 6 minutes.
Yeah, great lead for the team, and I hope that they would be able to go for more here for Peekachu. This is what they need. We said that they're very resource heavy, and as long as they get accelerated by MDH Esports by making these mistakes, they're losing a lot of this cover. Because right now, with the first two objectives going to the hands of Peekachu, and also the first tower down to their side, this is a big blunder from them.
Yeah, right now, Nami and Corki being that aggressive duo, going to mid lane, pressuring Jace so far will not result into any much value, just pushing away Jace. But for now, at this point in time, what can we expect? Well, before then, we have a fight in the mid lane, but just a little bit of a trouble. What can we expect in the next couple of minutes here, Dash, coming into 10?
Yeah, especially for this this 8-minute mark right here, they're gonna be getting their first or their second items for the side of Peekachu, and that is exactly what they want to go for. Because if they get their second items, they can just play around the map. And considering that MDH Esports doesn't have vision at the middle part of the map, that's a big blind spot for MDH Esports. Peekachu could just make sure that this bottom side of the jungle would be theirs.
We'll see. Because right now, Peekachu has the map control. They're going for the 4-man roam into the bottom lane. The charm is perfect. They're just dashing through. Aya comes in over the wall.
Oh,
and that will be Nami securing the kill.
Or got the kill, but top side.
Of the map. Garen is in danger. It's a 4-man roam from MDH. Damash and Justice will not be enough as they get the trade back.
Yeah, got the trade. Great play around that. They got the vision in the bottom side of the map. They knew that this is going to be a gank on the bottom side, so might as well just take something out of that. And they're now going to be taking the top lane turret. This is going to be a big win for them. But if this tower in the bot lane is also going to fall down still, Peekachu is just making sure that they're kept in check. MDH Esports is not going to get an advantage, and Peekachu is just going to be keeping this goal lead by themselves.
Yeah, and that's really important when it comes to League of Legends Wild Rift, or at that point in this game, to have consistent trades. If MDH Esports gets something out of value, Peekachu has to get something in return. And that is pretty much the formula. If Peekachu wants to win this game, they already have the lead of a 3k gold in their pockets. They just have to balloon it or sustain it.
You just have to make sure. Peekachu just have to make sure that they just keep this in check, and also the Garen is just gonna make that possible, because the Hull Breaker onto the Black Cleaver after you get the second item, it would be really hard for the Jax to fight in 1v1 against this Garen. So that is something that we need to think about, is because Jax wouldn't be able to just freely farm in the side lanes.
Yeah. And right now though, Triforce already built up by Jax, building into a BRK. If that is already built, Jax's damage would exponentially increase in this game.
Yeah. If Herald is available, we don't have a lot of people at this top side of the map. I think they might be giving this to the side of Peekachu again. It's not a good sign for MDH Esports. Whenever they start these fights, I hope that they would be able to get the CC in at the right time. Right now, they don't have a lot of damage from the Ziggs. But I hope in this next fight we're going to be having, because bot lane, I think this Jax is going to be killed.
Garen the backside, goes in for the flash, silence on the Ziggs, Ziggs is gone, and that will just be a quick and efficient execute from Garen.
I was surprised, because I thought the Jax is going to be dead there, but Ziggs was recalling. And the Ziggs just got killed pretty easily, and oh no, that was a mistake, but the charm comes in.
Woo, that vision coming in from Peekachu was just able to charm down Jax. Almost getting that kill, but was in danger. It was a 2-man that can support Jax in that fight. Overall, Peekachu will not get that kill, but in the end, pushing Jax back.
Yep, Minuet, always a strong force. She has been very great whenever using the area. The charms are always hitting, and they always have found a way to make sure that this Minuet would have a lot of value from this, and they always get these objectives. This is why I'm surprised. They have the package on their hands. They can start the fight whenever they want to. 5 seconds of the clock, the Infernal Drake is going to be coming in, and Peekachu might be afraid here.
The charm is just perfect. Rakan is gone. This is a key member. Package coming through. Cuts down MDH Esports. The flash is burned. Ziggs is low, and Mega Inferno Bomb will not suffice, and that will be a 1-for-0 trade.
Low HP, Rift Herald has been thrown, and Infernal Drake is going to be up right here, and this is going to be easy for Peekachu.
think that's worth Infernal Drake coming in for the Rift Turtle.
Charm!
And now the Charm with the max range connects onto Jace, forcing out the flash, but you have the trade back. They want to counter engage. Jack's in the middle of this fight. It's a 4-man dive from Peekachu. We'll be able to secure that kill, and Peekachu will go out with so much value.
Flashes from flashes. MDH Esports has a lot of resources down, and Peekachu can just make sure. Oh, Grand Entrance!
On Grand Entrance with the quickness. We'll be able to kill down Winwit. And now it's the Cyclone coming through with a knockup. Tries to go back with a retreat. And it's a miracle that he or she still lives.
Wukong survives with this level of health, and Peekachu have been making a lot of this value just from getting all these kills. Rabbit and Setcup has been built by Minuet, and this is going to be very destructive for your side. Peekachu, they do have the advantage. They just need to be very careful in how long they need to stay in the Rift, because the longer this game goes, the Jax is just going to become unstoppable. Right now, Peekachu is still in a safe place.
For sure. And that is the reason why I love what Peekachu is doing, is that they're constantly punishing Jax. Because they know this is the late game investment. But MDH Esports has Nami with Aqua Prison, secures that kill, and now the tidal wave is brought out as well to ensure that the kill will be made. Now Wukong is in danger. Rakan just goes back in for the shield, forcing out the flash for more safety. Mega Inferno Bomb produces a lot of deep damage. The Cyclone back in with a Gargoyle and Chef reduces a lot of this sustainability, and now Peekachu is in danger. Grand Entrance in the backside! And
Ignited!
That will knock up Aya and Glaria.
Bouncing
and that
bombs.
will force out a Stasis Enchant for Corki to live for a bit longer. But that, in the end, will be a 2-for-1.
Yeah, 2-for-1. Still an advantage for the side of Peekachu. Charm might come in.
Ooh, so close yet so far. And now Minuet is in danger, a little bit low on HP. Peekachu going in for the flash over the wall for Garen. Secures that kill with a silence along with a Mash and Justice. Jace now trying to get that trade back, but it will not be enough as Garen is so tanky.
What is the damage? What is the damage? Peekachu just going aggressive. They're not afraid, because we have said a while ago, 2 items is their item breakpoint, and now they're not afraid of taking any fights against MDH Esports, especially when they have this 6k gold lead. Peekachu are just so good at playing around their advantages, and we doubted this composition of theirs. If they don't have any way of starting the fights, MDH Esports is going to give the fight to them, because that's basically what their composition does, and Peekachu just reacts to what happens.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? We were quite skeptical of this draft from Peekachu, because the only AoE CCs would be Claria, and they have the Garen to be in our front lines. But the thing is, Claria has been exceptionally beneficial for this team. The tidal wave constantly connects. The Aqua Prison always perfect and flawless up against MDH Esports, and that is the reason why they constantly get these trades back in.
I do hope the Peekachu would try to finish the game as fast as they could, or maybe try to take the Baron, try to end the game, because MDH Esports starting to become scary, because Rabbit and Setcup has been built by the Sigs too. And if the Jax would be able to get this Wit's End, most of this damage from the side of Peekachu won't be a problem anymore, because remember, they are very heavy when it comes to magic damage, and the Kha'Zix is the only big physical damage that they have in the team. So MDH Esports, they can come back with this.
For sure, for sure. A lot of these late game champions, Ziggs, Jax, Wukong would be the setter, Rakan as well. They just need this one massive team fight for them to be able to make it back away from Peekachu. Because so far, it is a 7k gold lead, but that is 2 clashes win by MDH Esports to turn things around away from Peekachu.
Have the vision on this top side of the map. They were expecting to start a fight on the top side, but right now, with most of the members of MDH Esports slowing down the game, this is not an ideal spot for Peekachu, because if the game is slowed down, if the gap is stable, MDH Esports has time to farm. Has time to farm resources, but top side gets the kill.
Nice charm coming from Ari to follow up from Kha'Zix as well. The isolated target gives a lot more damage for Kha'Zix.
Yeah, and MDH Esports kept losing on disadvantages, and the timing is just not right, because 15 seconds is going to be the Mountain Drake, and they don't have a Jace. A 4v5 when you're on a disadvantage already, not really great.
For sure. Right now though, Peekachu is on away the enemy team. Arya's there. Mountain Drake is up. Pikachu will reduce the vision. MDH has no clue, no info on what's happening in the Dragon Pit. You have the Charm connecting onto
the charm
Rakan.
again.
No follow-up though. Pikachu starting them out on Drake. And you have Wukong setting up the vision. Wukong is ready to go. They have the flash, but the charm is there. Connects onto Wukong. Package is there. Cutting down MDH Esports. And right now the tidal wave goes for the 5-man knockoff. Pikachu is following through. The flash is there. Gary in the front lines. Kha'Zix to follow up. Jax just jumping around to go back to safety. And Wukong is down. It's 2 kill for Pikachu.
Big value. Guardian Angel is down now on the Wukong, and MDH Esports now in a big disadvantage. Charm connected though actually on the Jace, but not going to be continuing with the battle right there. But Pikachu using the package pretty well. The confidence from Aya just defending the pit. They didn't want anybody to get close because the package was at the ready in case anybody gets close. And that's the punishment that they have every time. I am loving this Corki pick because it's the reason why they're having a hard time contesting these objectives.
And right now, Aya's there, Minuet as well, defending the mid lane. And MDH Esports will not be able to secure a turret.
Really do love that Pikachu are just not letting up. We said a while ago that they're trying to slow down the game, but MDH Esports, whenever they try to get away from their base, Pikachu finds a way to get the kill and maybe fasten up the game, get an objective from themselves, and if this Jax falls down, that's going to be big for Pikachu.
Pikachu dashes in
nice
with
dodge.
a spirit rush. Charm will not connect, but a follow
That's
through from
dead.
Pikachu will secure that kill. And this is what I love. Punish Jax.
Always punish at Jax. Jax hasn't been having the greatest game here. But Pikachu, now with one man down the side of MDH, they can't take the Baron.
For sure. Baron is open. Wukong's alive though. MDH Esports still has that opportunity because if they let this up, a lot of gold will be injected for Pikachu and the Baron buff as well. That could really secure them the inhib turrets. And so far, they're still waiting on the horizon. MDH Esports has vision on the Baron pit.
Yeah, Pikachu hesitating quite a bit. If they're going to be starting this fight, give some time for Jax to respawn. That's not an ideal spot. They have a vision there. They have a ward inside of MDH Esports, and this is good for them. They can start this whenever they want to. They can try to contest this Infinity.
Mega Inferno Bomb. Rakan is going in. Quickness with a grand entrance, but he's too far away, and that will enable Nami to just use the tidal wave to counter engage. And now the Master of Justice trying to get that kill down onto Wukong will not secure it, living with 1 HP, and that will push Pikachu back and retreat.
Pikachu not going to be getting the Baron. That's a good spot for MDH Esports when they had the ward there at the Baron. They knew when to start. They're not going to be hesitating whenever they do. The Cyclone and Rakan sacrificing herself when that started. It was enough to stop them from gaining a massive advantage, a massive lead. And that Baron is going to be stopped, and they still have some time to get their items. Third item on most of their champions, and this is the time that they might be able to turn things around.
For sure. And that is the only thing that they want to do. You know, Pikachu starting the Baron Nashor, MDH Esports canceling that engage and canceling that objective taking by Pikachu. That is already good. They bought a lot of these time for MDH Esports to make it back, and now Jax wits end completed.
Yeah. Wits end of Jax. This is going to be a massive lead for them. They are now going to be starting this Elder Dragon. They have the package on the Corgi. They have a time limit. So that Pikachu needs to think about what to do here. Most of the teams always tries to contest one, but they always need to get the Elder Drake because that's much bigger value.
For sure. Like the HP execute from the Elder Drake buff would be huge for any of these teams right now, especially for MDH Esports, given the fact that they have such a huge deficit in this game number 1.
Yeah. They've lost a lot of their space. They might be able to start this. I love that they started right here. And the Elder Dragon's gonna come in. The Charm comes
Spirit
out.
Rush over the wall. The Charm connects onto Wukong. GA might get popped. Not be so far, but Pikachu is still fighting this. Spirit Rush comes through again. Charm just trying to push back MDH Esports. Trying to get a pick off. Will not suffice. Kha'Zix jumps in. A lot of these damage coming through. Peekachu has the advantage. Tidal Wave in the pinch. MDH Esports is on a loss. Mega Inferno Bando stacks onto Peekachu, and that will put out a lot of these damage against the enemy team. Jax is gone. Wukong is gone. And Peekachu is diving in. They're converging in the bottom lane. 3-man already down. Wukong has been decimated, and Peekachu is right now going to end this game, pushing in the bottom lane. Jay's the only one left. This is their strength. This is their power. The draft might be gone, but this is not over as they strike first in game 1.
It was not a problem. Peekachu was able to make sure that MDH Esports won't gain that advantage, won't gain that space that they needed, or at least the position that they wanted in the early stages of the game. They were able to win the first fight, was able to steal both of the objectives, and that's when it started. The advantage of MDH Esports just continued to dwindle down, and that's not what you want to happen when you're fighting against a Kha'Zix. Once a Kha'Zix starts off snowballing, this is what's going to happen, and Peekachu knew that all along. And that's why they were able to win this game pretty convincingly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've doubted them, but they have shown us and have proven to us that, you know what, we will make it work. And I just have to tip my hats off to Claria. Claria's tidal waves, those aqua prisons were phenomenal. And Minuet's positioning towards those charms were also flawless. Constantly going for pickoffs, and the follow-up from the rest of the team were there.
Yeah. And this is still something that we always need to think about whenever it starts off like this. Whenever they start off with a fight, we have seen Peekachu always just waiting for the package to be available, then they start the fight. Because if the package is not available, it's not going to be easy because there's a lot of engage coming in from the side of MDH Esports. That's why they can't even get close, because once they use one dash, they can't get any closer to anybody else because the tidal wave is going to come in also from Peekachu.
Yeah. Right now, that is game 1. This is a best of 3, so Peekachu is currently on match point here in the lower bracket finals. And Dash, what a game starter for FSL Wild Rift Open Day 2.
Yeah, game 1 is great, but game 2 is going to be greater for sure, because that was a great and, what can I say, very convincing game for the side of Peekachu, and I hope that we would be able to get a lot more of that if they want to continue with this lead, or at least this journey to become the master of the FSL right now for the side of the Wild Rift FSL Open.
Well, that's pretty much it. Game number 1 of the lower bracket finals. My name is Infinity and this is Dash. We're gonna take a short break, but when we come back, this might be the game finisher, or just gonna extend game 3, so watch out.
Gotta catch them all. That is what Peekachu said. And this, I mean, it's not Peekachu, it's Ash Ketchum who said that. But here, we're gonna be having, again, another game from the side of Peekachu versus the side of MDH Esports. It's gonna be a fun game, 1-0 for the first series. And this is gonna be the next one that we're gonna have. We are gonna be your shoutcasters for today. My name is Dash, and I'm here with Infinity. And this is game 2.
Yeah, you know what? I changed my clothes for you, Dash. I felt like I was out of place a while ago. You were
What do you mean?
You were wearing a coat. I was wearing a jacket.
Oh,
you know
there
what?
you go. There's a blue coat.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
evolving. We're evolving. You know what?
Yeah. You know, it's a black, then white, then blue, then red. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect combo right there.
Absolutely. But you know what else is perfect, Dash?
What is?
Is this game 2. Because I think this will be the deciding factor if we're going to game 3.
Yeah,
And
honestly. Yeah, go. Continue, yeah.
and this is pretty much gonna change things up.
That's true. Because honestly, with how things are going for the side of Peekachu, so far it hasn't been a problem. Most of the time, whenever we see that we have an ideal draft in mind, they always prove us wrong by being the actual right people, because they know how to play around the draft that they're very comfortable with. They have been using the Nami a lot in their compositions, and so far the Nami has been our strong force right here. They don't even need to rotate most of the time, because I see most of the supports rotate to the Baron lane, and they do actually help the Baron laner more because they believe that the Baron laner has a lot more potential. But here it's very different. They try to play in the bottom lane. They let the ADC get stronger and stronger, and after that fact, ADC is just gonna carry.
Yeah, and that is what I love, how what Pikachu is doing. they're superior when it comes to these macro plays that they're showing us so far from
Yep,
yesterday's matchup
definitely.
into this day 2 in the lower bracket finals. And two of the best supports right now arguably would be Karma and Nami. Karma has been banned by Pikachu in the first phase bans, and they pick up Nami in their first two picks. So they're really just playing these mind games from yesterday, even that they're showing us, they're proving us wrong constantly, time and time again.
Yeah, and they have been very great at it. And I'm really excited to see how they are going to be playing this one because they had gained the confidence, gained the momentum during the first game. It's a very dominating game. And I thought that they had a chance. MDH Esports would have a chance to come back because of there's certain lights that they have been showing us during the middle stages of the game. But in the end, still, Pikachu was able to make sure that they're not going to be letting this lead crumble. They always just held on to it. So this is a mark of a strong team. And we have said time and time again, Pikachu has always been a strong team, a strong contender against City Dogs and the FSL. But it's just way different because whenever City Dogs comes into play, they're just the strongest every time.
Yeah, I believe they're on a win streak already,
Yeah.
and they're pretty much the undefeated queens of FSL Wild Rift Open. Different names, different orgs, but a team as a whole is currently undefeated, and that is the reason why we were talking about this prior to this series or prior to this game. When the whole thing started for day 2 is that
Yeah.
City Dogs, their team specifically, is the best female team that touched League of Legends Wild Rift.
Yeah. They are just very strong. They know how to draft. They know how to play against each other. And also they know how to play against the teams right here. And maybe I'm pretty sure that they have an answer to the Nami that has always been put up by a lot of these teams here. And that's the reason why they stayed up there in the upper bracket. But remember, Pikachu hasn't lost a game since their loss from City Dogs. And this lower brackets, they have been 2-0s per 2-0s. And this is just a mark of a team that could contend to a team like City Dogs. I hope that they would be able to, but City Dogs, yeah, they're ready. They're just waiting right there, and I see some of them in the comment sections says they're waiting for who's gonna win, who are we gonna face against. But Pikachu is still out here in the battle phase.
For sure. And you know what? I'm excited and I am ready to go as we are jumping into the draft.
Yeah, use the draft. What are gonna be the changes? Zed gonna be the first ban. I hope that they ban the Jace here for the side of MDH Esports because it was an important pickup for them a while ago. But Pikachu is not gonna be picking them up by themselves because Pikachu is always gonna go for their comfort.
Yeah, and the thing is, from what Pikachu has done yesterday, like when it comes to the red side, they have this priority onto Karma, onto Fiora, on these specific high tier champions. But when it comes to the blue side, they're banning away these champions that are quite flexible, or well rather open. Gwen,
Yeah.
Zed, because they know that they have the first pick and they know that they can get that prio into the blue side.
Yeah, and always, you need to ban a lot of these champions that are very flexible. And Corki getting banned from the side of Pikachu. They're banning Ayas, Corki. This is really surprising for me. Maybe they have an answer here with another ADC in mind. Right now, they have this side picking up. Ari's gonna get picked up. They want Minuit to be comfortable in the mid lane. Maybe on the second rotations, they're gonna be picking up that Nami unless MDH Esports picks it up themselves.
Yeah, for sure. I think Pikachu giving that comfortability onto Minuet is quite a significant factor to their win. Because from day number 1 yesterday in the lower bracket, for probably like 3 games overall, there is majority of the time that Minuet is on the Ari. And we all know that Ari is one of the best picks that Minuet can get. So giving that aspect, Pikachu has a very, very strong mid laner now secured. For MDH Esports, though, locking onto a Jace, quite strong in the early game as well.
Yeah. And again, this is just another Jace getting picked up by them and the Camille also available. That's 2 strong picks already on the hands of MDH Esports. Pikachu It's gonna be a very different game from what they had a while ago.
Nami.
I hope that they do pick the Nami, as you said, maybe an ADC for themselves in order for the mid lane, or rather the top lane, the jungler, have a bit more flexibility later on.
Oh,
Jax, though, interesting.
I love that. I love that. Because they're now going in for a really strong late game champion, and we all know that they could get there. Jax on the top side, matching against potentially a Camille in the Baron lane, could be that aspect when it comes to a 1v1. And as we stated a while ago, Nami would be that high priority, considering that Yumi and Karma is already banned. This is really good for Peekachu.
Yeah, again, it's gonna be good for them. Again, the Nami is always gonna get picked up, but the Lilia, this is what I'm scared of, Infinity. If this comes out, the Lilia, the Camille, the Jace, Pikachu needs to ban the Galio just to at least stop MDH Esports from picking a lot of these great picks. But
Yeah.
we always said that Pikachu is great playing their comfort. They're playing the area, they're
Yeah.
playing the Nami. It's not going to be a problem for them. They know an answer for this. They know how to play around it. But MDH Esports, I'm not really sure what they can do here, because Pikachu is always comfortable with his champions.
Yeah, for sure. And I like how you mentioned about the Galio as well, because we all know in the past, when it comes to the CC combos, Camille and Galio are one of the best duo that you can ever have when it comes to engage. So that is an aspect that Pikachu can do. As you stated, it is going to be removed, but Lucian would be open for MDH Esports to pick up.
Okay, this is interesting. They picked Illusion, and you know what, Infinity? I don't want to say it again, because MDH Esports, these are all the priority picks that you always see in competitive. And MDH Esports is playing the draft pretty well, but Pikachu, they're playing so well against this types of composition that I'm not in doubt even if that happens. It's like Ash Ketchum using a Pikachu against an Onyx, and I don't know how that works.
Sure, yeah, the stone, throw it on the stone. I don't know how it works, but I think this is actually not bad for MDH Esports. On top of like having that priority, having like a Lucian in your draft, and a lot of these strong picks, is that this is not bad, because yes, they're lacking on the AP category if they go for Jace and Lucian, but the thing is, they have Lilia that can suffice on the AP aspect of things. So MDH Esports would not really regret picking up that Lucian along with a Jace. Now Pikachu though, this is what we're looking for. Kayn and Varus being locked in. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. Kayn, going to be the first time that we're going to see in FSL.
Kayn? What? What am I seeing, Infinity? Because what? You have a Kayn, you have the Varus Nami, which is okay. Ari always getting picked by Minuet, but the Kayn is another surprising thing for me. But MDH Esports has a very well-rounded composition. Aggression for aggression. Lilia is just there to couple that with a bit of damage and also a bit of the CC that they would need for the team, or rather the team fights. This is a very well-rounded composition for MDH Esports, and I really do believe that this has the capability of getting this into a game 3. But Pikachu always pulling out this rabbit out of the hat, this composition out of nothing, but they always make it work. I've said it a lot of times today, but Pikachu, I'm not really sure how they're going to be working this.
Yeah, this is going to be a Jax dependent game for sure, because Ari, yes, really good. Varus, really good as well when it comes to pokes, when it comes to single targeted CC. But when it comes to the overall aspect of things, Jax will be that late game investment, will be that powerhouse that Pikachu will have all throughout this game number 2.
We've seen that a while ago. The Jax expected to be a powerhouse, but wasn't able to because it has been cut short by the ganks and even the pressure that they have in the top side of the map. But here, it's going to be way different too, because they have a Kayn. Kayn isn't really the strongest champion in the early game, so it's not going to be an easy gank too if ever they want to accelerate the power of the Jax. So MDH Esports has a lot of ways to stop that from happening, to stop them from ballooning this lead that they could have by themselves. But let's take a look at what's going to happen in the game, because we're going to get into it right now.
Yeah, and I think we could expect maybe a level 3 gank from Kayn. I think that is what they're looking for. And right now, once again, this aggression coming from both these teams.
Yeah. You know what? It's gonna be aggressive again, like what they did. Lucian Fresh right here in the bot side. They can just go for another fight here in the bottom side of the map. They want to start as fast as they could, and that's gonna be the play to the exhaust. They do have the flash to work with, and that's
nice.
forced away to some of their spells already from Peekachu.
That was really nice because forcing out the flash in 30 seconds of this matchup opens up a huge array of possibility
Definitely.
for Lilia to
Yeah.
be able to gank in the bottom lane, and that is really, really strong from MDH Esports.
Yeah, and also what's great about this Infinity is that it's Solution Fresh. It's an aggressive lane, but mid lane, trying to go for aggressively. Do have some damage coming in from Lotus. MDH Esports is not going to be continuing anytime soon. They're just making sure that their lane is going to be easy. They got the kill. The Igniter sticking with the head of the Lucian. They got the first kill, but it has been traded by Peekachu.
No, that was worth it though, because MDH Esports, they got the first blood. On top of that, the gold came through for Lucian. But this time around, when Pikachu got the trade, it was Nami who got the kill, and it was not the first blood. So overall, when it comes to the aspect of things, MDH Esports got the better end of the trade.
Yeah, and Pikachu, no, this is great. Especially when it comes to a Varus against Solution. Varus does have the capabilities in the early game compared to them. But they're chasing out Minuet. There's going to be the flash coming in, and that's going to be the kill already. MDH Esports looking like golden right now.
Yeah, and they're here not to play, they're here to win. Top side.
Not giving any inch to Pikachu because they know that this early game is very crucial for them. Not even letting the Varus get the first items because the Varus, even without any items, is strong with the piercing arrows, right? But if it's going to be against Solution Press, Eye is going to come in. They have the play coming into their side. They have the exhaust to get the kill, and that's the piercing light to end it all. And MDH just dominating every lane.
What a play from MDH Esports! Early into the matchup, feeding into Lucian as a champion here in this early game is never the thing that you want. Because right now, with the long sword already, well, not long sword, BF sword already built up, having around, how much gold? 1 point, no. My math's wrong.
1.3k gold.
1.3k gold, right? 1.3k gold advantage for the opposing ADC. This is going to be an unwinnable lane for Peekachu.
Yeah, that's not what you want when you're playing a Varus. You want to win the early game as easy as you can because you know it's a Varus. You have the early game advantage, so it's not going to be easy enough to do damage or poke out this Lucian trash lane. They have the Lilting Lullaby on the top side. Hextech Ultimatum's going to come in. Not going to be moving around. That's going to be it. No flashes too. So it's going to be an easy kill for them. Going to be running away safely. MDH Esports.
So close of them not getting it. Here, bottom lane though.
Chain of Corruption, bot side, they have it. They're inside onto the Solution. They don't have any flashes. That's going to be the kill. That's exactly what they want. They need to turn things around, and they got a bit of gold in the bot side.
Tipping my hats onto Kane. That was really good gap, because if they did not do that, it is an unwinnable lane for Peekachu. And now that they were able to punish Lucian, Varus will be able to farm a bit, get a bit more towards the route to an even level playing field. But still, it is still a lot of gold in favor for MDH Esports. Lucian specifically building now into a Stormraiser.
Interestingly, I can see that the Kane is also building a lot of lethality here for Peekachu. Yeah, they're going for the Yuma's Ghostblade first item. Are they going to go for the red Kane or the blue Kane? I do believe that they need a red Kane at this point, because even if there's a lot of ranged champions for MDH Esports, having the red Kane is enough sustainability to help out the Jacks stay longer in these fights.
For sure. We'll see how this would turn out, because at the moment, the role of Kane would be to prolong the matchup, would be to delay this game by getting a lot of these ganks in the early to mid game and punishing MDH Esports, similar to what he did, or what she did rather, in the bottom lane, punishing Lucian. This is all it's going to take to just push Jax into a lead and push Jax to build more items to be able to 1v9 the whole game too.
Yeah, they just need to let the Jacks get the item that they need. And they also need... Oh, what's great about the Kane, though, is that the Kane is also stronger the longer the game goes, because the amount of sustainability in that at that point is just very strong. Right now, MDH Esports is the stronger ones, because the early game power, or the early game power spikes are just pretty good right now with the items that they have. They're starting with
Wait.
the Rip Herald, a great play on the 3 people. That's going to be it. They want to get the kill on the Jax. Hextech ultimatum comes in, but they're not going to be able to get anything more. They have nothing of value. They got one kill to the side of Peekachu. They want to get the kill onto Minuet. They have the Spirit Rush. They're losing a lot of this Q ultimates right now. They're going to be going for the steal. That's a great steal from the Kane. It's not going to matter because they got the steal. They're going to be backing away. They're going to be cleaning up the members right here. MDH Esports, even if they lost the Repel, they got a bit of a punch in the gold.
At what cost? At what cost? And they're looking for
Shot
more.
blast, though. Bonk. Damage. They have 2 Disguise. Infinity. This might be another kill coming into their side. Flash is in. Gust push back. Thundering blow. 1 HP on this Chase.
Jace was in inches of death there. Jax almost got the outplay, but in the end, they still got the kill for an unofficial ace.
Stolen the Rift Herald. But as you said, at what cost? This is the cost that we're looking for, Infinity, because they lost a bit of the space, got the tower in the top side, but it doesn't really matter because the Rift Herald is available in the hands of Peekachu, so they can just take another tower by themselves. And MDH Esports, how are they going to answer back with this? Because this Rift Herald is going to go down to the bot lane.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see. Because right now, Lilia is coming through. Jace is responding as well. Let's see how this will turn out.
Oh no, Chain of Corruption wasn't able to hit. Are they going to be taking this tower down? They're losing a lot of these minions. Okay, that's unfortunate. 200 HP
Minuet.
and Minuet is going to be dying. Piercing Light is going to get used. Calling is not enough to get the kill. Literally 1 HP, 1
Red buff
slither
MVP.
of their health and Minuet. Everybody right here on the bottom side might be able to start the fight again. They are going to be going right there. They're going to be going inside the faces. And the tidal wave is going to be hitting right there. Going to be getting the kill right now. Kane is going to fall down, but it's okay because Peekachu is coming back with 2 kills for 1.
Yeah, and that is good for Peekachu. But I just want to commend the red buff. Because the red buff was MVP in saving Minuet's life.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Great. Yeah.
Going back into the game overall, the reason why Rift Herald is so significant in the early game is because of the Tower First Blood. Getting that would result into a map control advantage and a huge gold injection for your team. And MDH Esports, even if they lost the Rift Herald, they were able to get a Tower First Blood on top of the 5 kills that they got away from that clash. So right now, if you're looking at the gold, they have a 6k gold lead up against Peekachu. And this is the power and the strength that MDH Esports was able to receive.
Yeah, this is what's great about what MDH Esports is doing, though. They're playing around the map. They have 2 towers down, top side, bot side. So MDH is just taking over their jungle. And looking at the advantage when it comes to items, 8k gold on a Jace. That's massive,
Camille.
and now they're going to go in onto the back line. They want to kill the Naomi, and they have it already on their hands. Tilting Lullaby is going to be used, and they got 2. And this is another kill on the hands of MDH.
Yeah, and right now, it's just a matter of time. MDH Esports is slowly building up, or well, I can tell, quickly building
What
up.
is this? Too aggressive. Chain of Corruption, and they got it as fast as they can. They have Kane inside their faces. They have it. The damage is there, and they're going to be running away right now. That's going to be enough, and double kill already onto the Jax. This is when the Jax is going to be very scary. That's a lot of damage. 2 Disguise comes in, and they might be able to lose more life. Shock Blast! Not going to hit on Aya. 2 for 1 still. Peekachu turns it around.
Yeah, that was scary for a bit. I think there was a misplay, kind of. Like, Jace flashed over the wall to try and get the Jax, but instead jumps over the wall back again to get back into the fight.
Yeah.
I think overall, that was a bit funny, but they were able to get the kill on the Jax. And that's really important because this is a huge dependency for Peekachu. And right now, a 2-3-2 KDA is not really the best thing in the world with a 6k gold lead Jax. So this is far behind from optimal for this team.
Yeah, not a lot of gold injection onto the Jax. And on the second objective, we have 2 items already on most of the members, most of the key members of MDH Esports. And Peekachu are not even that close yet, except for the Kane. So this is just going to be an easy referral take for the side of MDH. And Peekachu just losing priority again right here.
And Peekachu traded it back with a 3rd bot lane, but still, it's not going
Easy
to
tower
work
mid
as
lane.
good because, as you stated, the mid lane is open. The Rift Herald, if it charges, it's gonna be down to the ground.
Easy tower. This is what they want to do. They just are going to be taking the Rift Herald. Let it adventure. Go on a mission in the mid lane. And look at how Jace is just pushing everybody back with a shock blast.
Damage.
Force them away. Another bonk.
No way.
No way.
No way. Shelly's
No
doing
way.
work. That's
Yeah.
hard work.
2 towers. Oh no. Not really good, Infinity, because right now, with what we're seeing from them, and Kane going for Shadow Kane too, this is too confident from Peekachu. Even with a 7k gold lead, I do believe that going Red Kane was the safer bet, the safer answer for them. And even with the Conqueror, it makes it easier for the Kane to just go in, get to the back line. But with the Shadow Kane, things become a bit different.
For sure. Although we were mistaken yesterday, we were proven wrong. So there's still that opportunity to hold on to. But a 7k gold lead for MDH Esports is not looking great on Pikachu's end when it comes to making it back. Especially if you're fighting up against Camille, who already has Divine Thunder and BRK. Lilio's already fed with 2 items already. And Jace that has so much items in 11 minutes.
11k gold lead and not even enough damage to get the kill on top side. We're just giving all this objective for the side of MDH Esports. But remember, it's a good thing that Peekachu was able to mitigate or at least buy themselves some time because they got the first two objectives a while ago, which is great for Peekachu. But MDH Esports now, we said a while ago that the composition doesn't need a lot of items, doesn't need a lot for them to keep going, and that's exactly what they're doing.
We'll see. So slowly but surely, 45k gold compared to a 40k gold. This is a 5k gold lead for MDH Esports, and this is what they want. This is what they need. But 4-man roam from Peekachu.
This is a smart bet for them. If ever they try to take down both of these bot laners a while ago, that could have been a start for them to come back and get the goal gap closer. Because they have a bit of a shutdown goal, especially for the Jace and the most of the laners, actually, the solo laners. They need to get the kills on the solo laners, cash in, and maybe get gold enough to make the Jax relevant on this game.
Yeah, cash in, check out some items, right? That's
Yeah.
their winning chance. That's a winning opportunity. We'll see though. Baron Nashor will come up in 25 seconds, and I believe MDH Esports, if they can win a fight that they can force, they're able to take it.
Oh my. The damage right there. Chain of Corruption to the tidal wave. Not enough follow-up, but the Aqua Prison was perfect! And now that is going to be the turn that they're looking for. Look at this backside. Damage is going to be there, but godlike. Too much damage from the Jace. Almost getting the kill too to the Lucian. This is what you want. Find opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. That is not expected from both these teams, but the thing is, both junglers are down.
No objectives whatsoever right now. Hullbreaker fighting 1v1. The damage from the grass and the dying and the Divine Thunder is just too good, and that's gonna be the kill. Camille 1v1 against the Jax. Not ideal. The flash happens. And Peekachu, Infinity, this is what I'm afraid of. This Jax.
Yeah, and this is what we have reiterated all throughout this game number 2. The Jax will be the dependency for Peekachu to win it through and through. And they still have that opportunity. It just needs more time to build up. It's like I don't know. Maybe Century Egg as it gets older. I don't even know.
Gets better? Yeah. Maybe wine gets
A
older.
wine?
It's
Wine's a
older,
perfect
it gets
analogy.
better, as they said. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the reason why Jax is strong. Because the longer the game goes, the more
For
dangerous, the stronger the Jax gets. And
Yeah.
this is what I'm afraid of. Because Jace is very well fed, has a lot of items, still very strong, enough to keep the Jax at bay. But even with a 3-item advantage a while ago from MDH, the Camille wasn't able to win. Because remember, it's a Hullbreaker to Divine Thunder. A 1v1 is not a fight that you want to go in.
For sure. We'll see. So right now, MDH Esports is wanting to force that fight.
It's a good fight though. Flay happens, not gonna be able to get something, but there is the death sentence, not gonna be able to continue. The calling is gonna be there. A lot of skills are being thrown. A lot of ultimates have been used already. Spirit Rush is down. Chain of Corruption is down too for the side of Peekachu, but that's good enough because they were not, or at least they were able to stop them from getting the
1v1.
kill. But now ball side again, another 1v1, 3-item advantage. I mean, 1-item advantage is not gonna matter if it's a Jax with a Hullbreaker. They burnt and they got the kill.
Jace is coming in.
Jace 1v1. I think this is not a fight that you want to go in, even if you're a Jace. The Ignite is gonna come in, the stun is gonna come out. They still have the damage, but Yeah, Jace is just too strong at this point.
Yeah, they're able to trade back a turret though, so that's good for Peekachu overall. Because they traded a 1-for-1, they got a turret in the end, so they got a little bit of value from that, but still 7k gold lead for MDH.
Baiting the Baron, very smart for MDH Esports. Doesn't have any vision. They can go for the Aqua Prison to the Chain of Corruption. Charm is not gonna hit, but it's okay. That's enough for them to secure the kill. Look at this, bot side. They have the stasis. If this Jace falls down, that's gonna be an easy Baron call for Peekachu.
1k gold!
That's great. Big.
Yeah, and this is what we're saying, right? Constantly going in for those ganks, and Peekachu has been successful out from that. They were able to kill down Thresh. Yes, they used up 2 ultimates, but in the end, they were able to get Jace as well. So they just have to build time. They have to build these patience for Jax to be able to scale so much. And as you stated as well a while ago, that Kayn is much stronger going into late game. And so far, it has been showing such a huge benefit from an 8k gold lead down now to a 5k gold lead in favor for MDH.
Honestly, Kayn doesn't even matter if they have the item advantage here from MDH, because Kayn is just mowing the back line every time. They're being forced to not take any commitment inside of MDH Esports. That's because Peekachu is just so good at doing this. It's gonna be a 2v1, but since the Jax we're talking about, it's gonna be there. Chain of Corruption is not gonna hit. They hit the death sentence onto the area. A lot of ultimates have been used already, but they got the kill because of one piercing arrow from downtown, and this can signal the Baron for the side of Peekachu.
It was Claria who went for the tidal wave, connected onto Lucian, piercing arrow followed through. Perfect combo coming in from the duo of Peekachu.
Peekachu again, this duo, Aya and Claria. They have always been the stone that the team has been stepping on. And that's the reason why they haven't shaken a bit, even if they lost a lot of disadvantage in the early game. And they're slowly coming back from that deficit from the early game that Lucian and Thresh just gave them.
Yeah, from their deficit a while ago, it was 8k. Now it was brought down into half. Only 4k gold lead left for MDH Esports, so they're slowly creeping back in, and this is what we have talked about a while ago. Let Jax play it through, wait for the late game. Going into 18 minutes, Jax is already built onto a Hall Breaker, into a BRK with a Stasis Enchant as well to buy a bit more time if ever it comes down into 1v5.
And we all know that Jace slowly scales down whenever the mid game starts, and this is the point where the Jace becomes a bit weaker, still strong, a bit weaker compared to how it was during the early game. But Peekachu knows that, and that's why they're taking a bit longer. They're just distracting MDH Esports to their own objectives, but now they're starting the Baron. Nobody knows that they are starting this Baron, and this is gonna be good, but they still canceled it out in the end just because their ward has been discovered by Peekachu.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, but that was cheeky from MDH Esports. They were able to start the Baron, no vision for Peekachu, and right now Pikachu's diving in.
Starting it again, Charm's not gonna hit, not a lot of CC is gonna be coming in for Peekachu. They lost a lot of their ultimates, key ultimates that is, against MDH, and MDH must have a chance to go at it again against their enemy team.
Yeah, and this is crazy. This is the point wherein one team fight can change everything from this game. And right now, Jace and Camille
around. Yeah, have the Camille outside. The damage right there. Look at that. What was that? It was not enough, but it was too aggressive. They got the Guardian Angel. Flay is going to be available. That side is there, but the Tidal Wave is there to help them out. And they were able to survive because of it. And now bot lane turret is down. And that Jax is just a headache for the side of MDH Esports. They want to start the fight right here. And they're not going to go for the 1v1. This is going to be bad. Hextech ultimate is there. They need to run away. Hook shot is going to be out. And that is the ultimate used by the Jax. And this is going to be a different fight that we're going to be going in.
So much damage!
And that's going to be the kill coming in for this Jax. And he's going to fall down. But they still had lost a lot of resources just because of that. This tower in the mid lane is going to fall down. What was that piercing arrow from downtown? Almost got the kill from Delilia.
Yeah, that was really, really close from Pikachu. Jax almost outplayed everyone up against MDH Esports. Just a little bit more items and going in for the GA for more aggression that is able to be done by the Jax into the bottom lane. 1v1, 1v2, 1v3 doesn't really matter. GA is there. Stasis Enchant is there to buy a lot of time for Pikachu to make plays, respond, or get objectives.
Yeah. They're going to be starting the Elder Dragon here, Infinity. They do have enough vision with the Rift Scuttler, and another reward to the side of Pikachu. It's going to be very scary for the side of MDH Esports, but they need to take the risk. They have the damage chain of corruption. It's not going to be hitting anybody. 2k HP. This might be the steal, and that's going to be it. They got the Elder Dragon. MDH Esports might be able to win this fight. They got the Kane down, and they are being chased down right here. One more hit onto the area might be able to kill that, but that is not still enough. They can take the Baron. MDH Esports are looking to end this game. They want the Baron, they want the Elder Dragon, and Peekachu won't be able to have any answer from them taking this objective.
One team fight, Dash. One team fight that changed the whole game. MDH Esports won that team fight, got the kill onto Kane, and then the Elder Drake, the Baron Nashor coming through. With these two buffs, their minions are superior against the enemy team. Their buffs for the execute from the Elder Drake is superior when it comes to team fight. And Pikachu has once again to delay.
MDH Esports, Baron, Elder Dragon. This is just a hard fight to begin with, and especially when you have a Leandris. It's really hard to fight against a Leandris whenever you have an Elder Dragon, because once you get hit just once, Elder Dragon buff is going to be on your head, and it's hard to fight against that. But now with them, this might be the punishment that they're looking for, but the damage still coming from the Kane is still enough to fend them off. But if they're at 3 sides, the Kane won't be able to go at 3 places. That's a lot of damage from just one piercing arrow. This might be it. Bot lane turret is going to fall down, and that is what exactly they want. Chain of Corruption, again, not hitting. Aya hasn't been hitting a lot of this key chain of corruptions. That might be the reason why they have been losing a lot of these fights.
Now MDH Esports has brought down 2 inhibitors. Top lane and bot lane is gone, and MDH Esports has all the advantage that they have.
Play. Not gonna be hitting the death sentence though. Not gonna be a problem because Aqua Prison is gonna be there in Tidal Wave. No follow-ups whatsoever, but the Charm is gonna be able to hit. Look at the backside though. They already have breached members of MDH Esports. They are gonna be taking them down, but one might fall, and they still have the Elder Dragon buff. This is just gonna be a hard fight right here, down to the turrets. They don't have anybody else except for themselves. It's a 3v4, low HP on a lot of the members. They need to reset if they want to, but they want to end it all. They are going for it. This might be it, and MDH Esports forced this to a game 3.
Yeah, and I'm excited. This is now the time wherein Pikachu and MDH Esports is battling for the grand final spot in the last game. Game 3 in the lower bracket finals. Dash, I am accelerated. I'm excited. At the same time, I'm fearful of what can happen.
Yeah, as we said, this composition is just too good. And playing a Kane against this composition was not very ideal, and also a blue Kane at that. If they went in for the red Kane, I believe that it might have been different for the team because they need that extra CC. If Chain of Corruption and the Aqua Prison won't be able to hit, you need that extra layer. Maybe the knock up from the Kane, but it wasn't there. That's why it was really hard for the team to come back from it. And Jace was just too good. Jace was just too strong during this whole game and has been a constant threat, even in the later stages of the game. But still, it was close. It was too close, even with MDH Esports having the advantage.
Yeah, and Ngokbe, with the Jace, falls down a bit towards the late game. But the thing is, she has 21k gold. That's the highest gold in this game for a single player.
Yeah.
So if you have that much advantage, I don't think you're going to fall down in the late game at that point.
Yeah. I mean, you're basically like two item advantage against most of the people on the other side. And that might be the reason why had a hard time. Even with the charms hitting from Minuet, there's no follow-up damage coming in from them. They lost a bit of that because Jax wasn't able to do what they wanted. Because every time, whenever a fight happens, that sentence, Hackstack Ultimatum comes in, and it's not ideal for them to fight against those players whenever those CCs are there. But very smart for MDH Esports to draft like this against Peekachu. Now Peekachu needs to adjust their draft and not do something that actually worked during the past couple of times, because right now MDH Esports adapted on this best of 3.
Yeah, and the thing is, talking about the draft as well, we have to emphasize that they gave a lot of high prio picks to MDH Esports.
Yep.
Camille,
That's a lot.
Lilia, Jace, pretty much every single thing.
Lucian.
as
That's
well.
4. Yeah.
Right? That's 4. Tresh,
Yeah.
bit of an iffy type of support. I mean, support
If
can
that
do
was a
anything.
Galio or a
but-
Gragas, could have been better. But
Mhm.
still, a lot of prior
For sure.
picks there.
Yeah, for sure. I like how you mentioned about the Gragas as well. Is that because it can counteract Camille's Hexic ultimatum for the opposing team. But you already have the Nami locked in for the first 3 picks. It was a priority, but Lucian was left open. I think the mindset here by Peekachu is that they're thinking about locking onto Lucian for the second phase pick, but they weren't expecting that Lucian will be locked in by MDH.
Yeah. I was expecting that too, because honestly, they have the Nami anyway. Lucian Nami in the bot lane is very strong. But when they were kept at bay and they used the Varus, that was something different. They lost a bit of the DPS that they could pull off with this full damage composition that they always have been using. So on the side, Pikachu needs to reflect on this 10-minute break that they have after this, because game 3 is going to be very crucial. As we said, this is the first time that they lost on the lower bracket, so this is a wake-up call for Pikachu. But before that, we're just going to be taking a short break, everybody. We're having your casters for today. My name is Dash, and I'm here with Infinity. See you guys in 10 minutes before we go into the next game.
Hello and welcome back everyone to the FSL Wild Rift Open lower bracket finals, game number 3 Dash. This is the final game of the series.
Game 3, a lot of things on the table, a lot of drafts that has been won, and now this is going to be all of it. MDH Esports has been a strong force, but it was still close, honestly. During that last game, game 2 was very close. Pikachu almost won with a 2-0. It's a good thing that they were able to pull it back, was able to get things together, and end it as fast as they could before the Jax becomes more of a headache.
Yeah, for sure. And this is really crazy to think about, but we weren't stopping on talking about the game overall and the series overall during the break, and I think it all comes down into how the draft would come towards into, because giving all prio picks to the opposing team is not really the ideal strategy.
That's true. Because they were able to give a lot of just priority picks against them. And those are priority picks. Jace, Camille, everything that they picked up except for the Thresh have been really great for the side of MDH Esports. And still, Pikachu kept to the comfort because it works. Honestly, with that, I hope that they would be able to pull something out of the hat, like maybe change the top lane, the jungle, keep the same 3 picks with the Ahri, the Nami, and an ADC. That has been good, working for them so far, and do maybe a bit of CC. That is what they need for Pikachu.
Yeah, and from what we observed a while ago, they can play a lot of these champions, but now the question is, what are the bans going to be here, Dash? In this game number 3, we've seen a lot of these comfortable picks, and any expectations coming into the draft?
Honestly, if I'm MDH Esports, I'm going to be banning all those priority picks that they have. The Corki, the Nami, and even the Ahri that they have been very comfortable with on the side of Pikachu. And that would force their hand. That would force them to use other champions, which could potentially be very destructive for Pikachu so far, because they have been getting the specs every time.
Yeah, Minuet is so good, and what I mean by so good is amazing at playing Ahri. And remove this champion away, this brings up the question on what else can Minuet play, right? That will force out Minuet into another champion, into another perspective, because what they did in game number 2, they were on the blue side, right? There were a lot of these high prio picks. Ahri was not banned, but they still picked it up first pick.
Yeah, and that was the reason why they had a hard time there. And now, with this, going to be getting to the draft in a bit, but we are still waiting for what surprise they are going to be giving us for this game. But MDH Esports still keeping the Jax out of bay, because, yeah, Jax was a headache a while ago. And because if they didn't ban the Jax, another Jax could be picked up by Pikachu, and that Jax was strong. even at a 4-5 score.
For sure, for sure. They made it back a bit onto the Jack's play from their top laner. So banning it away is a good thing. Zed being banned though.
Zed getting banned. The respect that they have for Mokbe on the mid lane, because she was the strongest in that game. I can be honest with you, Infinity. She was the strongest. She has the chase. And that was 5 items already at the end game. 21k gold. And are they going to be banning a Jace on the side of Peekachu? Because that Jace was so strong. Because if they're not going to be banning it, it could be taken again by MDH.
Yeah, for sure. Camille going to be the next ban for MDH Esports. Now Pikachu has one last ban left. This could be Yone, could be Jace, could be Corki, could be any of the high prio picks in FSL Water Open so far.
Yeah. At Camille getting banned, and MDH Esports priority picked that a while ago. And now they are thinking of an Aatrox. But possibility here is that Pikachu could still pick the same things. If this... Yeah, that's better. If this Jace gets away, that's good. They got the Jace again. Aatrox is available for Pikachu if they want to pick that out. But if it's Pikachu, I believe that they're going to be picking Ari and the Nami again.
Yeah, possibly, because if you pick the Ari, it's a comfortable pick for their mid laner. If you pick the Nami, that's also good. But you know what?
That's good.
They're doing a double bluff here. They're picking up the
That's
Aatrox
good.
and the Nautilus to change
I like
things up.
that. I like that. Pikachu picking up the champions that you need to pick whenever it comes to the first rotations. They have shed their skin, and they're now Raichu. I don't know if that's correct, but MDH Esports.
Okay.
I hope they pick something else. Yone is
Yeah.
available. They can get the Yone here and challenge the Aatrox. Yone is basically the best challenge that you can have for an Aatrox. Lilia, Jace, and a Yone I'm expecting from MDH.
Yeah, that's really good. Lilia, Yone combo, a lot of these AoE CCs
Or
can be
Illusion is
locked
okay.
in by MDH Esports in the early game. Well, not early game, all throughout the matchup for this game 3, but instead, they're going for the Garen.
I mean, this Garen is okay. For me, Garen is a very neutral pick. It's not bad, it's not good.
Lucian not.
But at least it's a good way for you to make sure that this
Okay.
DPS that you have from the Lilia and Jace, you have someone to execute, which is the reason why they picked up the Garen.
I was thinking about Lucian Nautilus in the bottom lane because that's going to be really strong as well. Nautilus is one of the strongest supports at level 1, at least. Since what they're doing is all about these aggressions in their game, that could happen, but Ziggs Nautilus is not going to be a bad duo in the Dragon lane, and so far coming into the bans, Rakan and Corki removed from the champ pool.
I'm surprised that they banned the Corki, because that Ziggs is a great call. This is going to be in the bot lane together with the Nautilus already, but they might be thinking that Minuet could go for the Corki in the bot lane. I believe that Ari is still in the table for Pikachu.
Yes. Nice. Yeah, I was going to call they ban away Nami because the thing is, what MDH Esports could do supposedly on their draft is Jace. They have Jace already, right? So they can pick up Corki and Nami supposedly if it's not banned away. But this
Illusion.
is surprising.
That's good. That's good. Because against a Jace, Illusion is going to be a good pick. Yumi with the Lilia, that's smart. Honestly, I like this. Lilia, Garen together with the Yumi. But the Caitlyn, I'm not sure of for MDH Esports. Because if this was the Yumi, I was expecting something more less aggressive, or at least something that could help them out in lane. Maybe, hear me out on this, I think a Nasus together with a Yumi is good. Because the Nasus with the Yumi, you just need to stay in lane. You just need to survive the laning phase, and the amount of utility you could give in the Yumi dealing damage is super strong.
The thing is, from what I'm seeing, MDH Esports, their Achilles heel would be a little bit towards the early game because Yumi's gonna be non-existent, right? Lilia's gonna be farming. Caitlyn's not gonna be that strong compared to Illusion in the early game when it comes to an all-in aggression, especially that you're solo, potentially going to be in the bottom lane up against Illusion Nautilus. This is going to be a hard time.
You know what? I like this. Pikachu picking up these champions, it's perfect. Because remember, MDH Esports doesn't have a lot of CC in their composition. They have the Yumi in the bot lane. They have Lilia too. If this was different, if this was not a Lilia in the jungle, it could have been different. But MDH Esports, this is basically like how Pikachu drafted during game 2. I believe that Pikachu has the better, more well-rounded draft in this next game.
Yeah, they have Akali, they have Ziggs. These are big damage dealers for Pikachu. Lucian would be that aggressor when it comes to the early game. Nautilus and
Yeah.
Aatrox would be their frontliners. So overall, it's a balanced team matchup. It's a balanced draft rather for Pikachu. On the other hand, for MDH Esports, I'm a bit more in question. Now, walk me through, Dash, what we can expect in this game 3, especially that this is more or less a best of one, a do or die to go to the grand finals.
Yeah, I think let's take a look at the Dragon Lane matchup. The Dragon Lane matchup is the reason why I'm saying that they're going to be winning. Lucian, Nautilus in the Dragon Lane, very strong. Early game potential. Yuumi, Caitlyn, not the best. Caitlyn has the range, but if they are the ones who picked up the Ziggs on this matchup, it could have been better. But because they picked the Caitlyn up, it's a bit iffy for me because one hook could potentially kill them both.
Yeah, and especially with a passive of Nautilus as well, considering that one normal attack roots the enemy team, and Camille, oh well, rather Caitlyn at level 1 or level 2 would not be as mobile compared to a level 3. So early aggression
they
is
swapped.
expected coming in from Pikachu.
Okay, that's good. They swapped. Pikachu with Minuet on the bot side, this is better. Because yes, they have the wave clear in the bot lane. Just let the Caitlyn farm out. Because yes, they're going to be poked out a lot by this Caitlyn and even the Yuumi. But once they take space, once they take the time and let this Minuet just get to level 3, Claria could just go to any lane.
For sure. And on top of that, this is a classic matchup between a Jace and Lucian, because both these champions are really strong early game. Jace has all these pokes, while Lucian has the passive that can go in for a double normal attack spontaneously after a skill. So
Honestly,
I'm really excited.
I believe that Lucian is on an advantageous position compared to the Jace. The reason why is because Lucian doesn't need to get close, and Jace needs to use two disguise in order to get the full combo, and that usually means that Lucian could just dash away, get the range out, and you'll take a long time. But right here, they got the hold, though. I think it's gonna be the
2v1.
punishment that they have.
Yumi's in danger. Exos onto Ziggs though. That is
Oh,
nice.
good thing.
That is a clutch. Root onto Caitlyn. Both these teams are really, really low into the bottom lane.
Yeah, I thought that's gonna be the kill Infinity, but because they were able to run away, that hold was scary because that let the skill 2 of Yuumi go on cooldown, and that's why it was scary right there.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, though, we're going back into standard. Lucian coming back into the mid lane. And everyone's back into farming. And at this point in time, what more can we do to have that aggression? Especially that we're considering that MDH Esports is on a losing end here in the early game. Coming into 3 minutes, wherein level 5 will occur. Are there anything that we can expect for both these teams?
Honestly, early game, what's great about this though is that on the first objective, MDH Esports would have a bit of a firepower in order to contest these objectives against Pikachu, but Pikachu has less room for error, which is great because that is exactly what you need whenever you're in a competitive game. Less room for error, easier to pull off, it would be better. But level 5 on the mid lane is not going to be as effective as what Aya could bring with the culling. So this is going to be still a hard lane, waiting for the first items. I think Pikachu on their first items, they would have the advantage here.
Oh, so much pressure that Aya is providing into the mid lane. Jace can't do nothing, as you've mentioned a while ago, that Jace is going to have a hard time, and Lucian is having that advantage at the time of her life in the mid lane matchup. But Lilia going to be something that she needs to be scared of.
Still no first loads, Infinity. It's game 3. The pressure is on. Everybody doesn't want to make any mistakes because one mistake could potentially end you and lose you this lower bracket run.
For sure. And right now, both these junglers have presence of mind to go into the mid lane and put pressure. But with the mirror, they go back into farming. And this is what I love about League of Legends Wild Rift. There are a lot of creative mindset that you can do when it comes to the draft, when it comes to in-game. And this is what we're seeing from both these teams. So much variety.
A lot of creativity, and this is going to be way different than it's supposed to be because having an ADC and having Pikachu on a bit of a change of face because they have been picking the ADC and the utility support in the bot lane so far, and it has worked. Right now, might be a bit different than what they're doing. I think this is not as consistent as it was before.
Akali. We're going in, but a
execution,
Shuriken flip. 5-point strike is there. Perfect
What?
execution with a flash. They go in
Ignite.
with the first
No,
blood,
what?
and the ignite will not turn the kill for MDH.
It's not enough to actually get the kill, and now they got the advantage against a Garen, that is. And Akali won that laning phase, and this is going to be an easier lane for her, unless the Hullbreaker is going to get built by this Garen. But right now, Peekachu, great spot before the objective comes in.
Yeah, this is so good for Peekachu at this point. They get the prio on top side. It's already 1k gold lead for Akali with a Riftmaker.
This is hard. This is hard for MDH Esports. Once Akali comes in, becomes a threat, their back line is easy to access because what are you going to do? You don't have any way to protect them. The little thing Lullaby is there, yes, but once they get the breach onto the backline, Ziggs also is a big threat for them. So that's why it's way, way harder than it's supposed to be, because this composition is just built for what MDH Esports has put out.
Yeah, and the thing is, MDH Esports, the only one who can pretty much tank for the team is Garen. Lilia,
Yeah.
sure, but she's building onto AP, not the strongest tank in the world. Jace, not the strongest tank as well. Caitlyn, Yumi will never tank. So pretty much, if Akali is going to be fed in the early mid game, this is going to be a devastating time for MDH.
Yeah, they're gonna get erased from the map, and right now they're starting to Rift Herald. Not a good time, because look at this. The Pincer and Akali right now very bad. They can go in.
5-point strike.
Lifting Lullaby.
Piece damage. And no follow through. It's quite dangerous for Peekachu to go in. Well, rather MDH to go in.
Still have perfect execution though. If ever they start the fight, it would be pretty quick. Rift Herald slowly lowering on HP. Poke damage are just there.
Aatrox, World Ender going in. She's
Dimash
gone,
Injustice.
but there you go. Yumi going in for the final chapter as well. Going through with the roots.
Oh,
Aya
Aya.
though in the front line. Going to produce a lot of these
Flashing
damage.
in.
Chapter going in for Aya with the flash for that fight. But in the end, it's 2 for 2.
2 for 2 still. That is a good trade from both sides. Peekachu started that fight. World Ender has been used, but has been bursted as fast as they could. The Dimash Injustice, this is what we're saying. Whenever you start a fight against us and you got poked to the brink, MDH Esports has that one-click button in order to end the fight as fast as they could. And Peekachu was caught right there in their traps. And now, they're starting the referral. They have the Mountain Drake up. They're just going to be trading right here. Handshake, both sides.
Yeah, but Aya has information. And Peekachu is going quickly for the Rift Herald. But this could definitely be a 1-for-1 objective. But at this point, with the first objective being traded out, it's a Mountain Drake for Rift Herald. So, it's Peekachu having that early game advantage.
With Peekachu having this early game advantage, as you said, it's not very ideal for them to be losing this tower on the top side. MDH Esports, they're going to be losing this without any fight. Going for the battle, top side.
Going for the 2v1, but MDH Esports, here comes the cavalry!
Much
Going for the
injustice,
ultimate of Yumi! And that is a lot of zoning capabilities, not to
Lilia, no!
on Lilia, and now Akali finishes through with the final blow. And now that is going to be a 2-for-0 trade along with the Tower for his blood.
This is what we're saying about this composition. This amount of CCs that they have, oh, they're calling.
Will not push through, will not be enough to kill down Caitlyn with the sustainability that Yumi has. So far, fight will die down.
Yeah. Great. Because Peekachu have been getting this momentum. They're slowly getting there. Yes, they lost the Mountain Drake, but the Rift Herald on the top side, that could be a big blow for MDH Esports. Because even if you try to gank Peekachu at this point, you don't really have any ways of getting her from her Twilight Shroud. So she's just going to be a constant threat on the top side of the map. And once you try to go for a 1v1, it's not easy to win too.
Yeah, and from what we're saying a while ago, if Akali's fed, she's going to be an assassin to just devastate the whole MDH Esports team. And right now, she's at that point wherein she's just going to wreak havoc in anywhere she goes. 4-1-1, 2k goal lead on the opposite end in a 1v1 Baron matchup. Not looking great for Garen.
Yeah, not a fight that you want to be in. And even with the Hullbreaker, she's still struggling to find some value out of this Garen, because most of the time when you have a Garen, you want to go for a push, you want to go to the side lane and try to be as menacing as you can be. You just try to get some towers down for yourselves, but in the mid lane, want to go for some ganks. This is a very much needed gank right here.
They're going to pull through, but Pikachu is very, very clever, playing it very safe, going back so no engage for MDH Esports.
That's great. They're always pushing MDH Esports back and Peekachu. I like the way that they're starting this. They're just leaving Minuet alone in the mid lane in order for them to get more value. Like this, the bot lane.
For sure. And Ziggs is pretty much going to be very safe in the mid lane because of a lot of these pokes coming in with the bombs. Mega Infernal Bomb to clear out the wave.
Wow.
Caitlyn is very low.
That's a 2v1.
Yuma is there to sustain. And this is what we're talking about.
Yeah. It's the power of the Ziggs. The Ziggs can just wave clear for days, and you're not going to be pushing the mid lane pretty easily. And whenever you are on a standstill against a Ziggs in the mid lane, that's not good. Because you want the Ziggs to be dead every time, or at least try to engage on the Ziggs. But because they're on a Yumi Caitlyn, they're not going to have that opportunity.
Yeah, they can't. It's really difficult for them because the only thing that can root down or CC down the Ziggs would be the Yumi. And potentially even Caitlyn as well with the traps. But the thing is, the trap takes time.
Yeah. And even with the Pilt over Pacemaker, you don't have the same capabilities as the Ziggs. Yes, you are strong in the late game though. But when it comes to the late game, that the Wither is pretty much king in this game, that's big value. You need to always respect that from a Ziggs.
We'll see. Aatrox. They're on top side. You have Caitlyn as well. Jace is coming in. This is a 3-4-man roam coming from MDH Esports. Starting up that fight. But Aatrox is there. Nautilus is there as well. It's going to be a really, really difficult time for MDH Esports. They're forced to back away. And that is pretty much it. No all-in engage so far.
Playing from behind. Peekachu is just threatening most of the members of MDH Esports here because this fights that they want to go for, they don't have capabilities to engage. Peekachu is not engaging. They're just letting them burn down right here. And that's very smart of Peekachu, very tactical of them. Rift Herald is up, but nobody's touching it just yet because they want to respect the other team. They want to take the mid lane.
Right now, the pressure is on. Rift Herald is alive. Infernal Drake coming up in 25 seconds. So potentially a fight or a clash can occur in a couple of seconds.
Yep, Infernal Drake's being taken, and nobody's here to help them out. I mean, it's okay, because it's going to be easy for them to take this and go for the trade on the Infernal Drake. But what's scary about this Infinity is the mid lane is still alive, and with the Rift Herald in the mid lane, they need to put somebody here while the Infernal Drake is getting taken.
Now, Infernal Drake is now up. Pikachu got the Rift Herald, so MDH Esports still has no trade back when it comes to value.
Oh,
is
no.
thrown in the mid lane. Shelly is going to push. Infernal Drake is going to be started by Pikachu.
Yeah, and even if they're starting, they're going to be taking down the mid lane turret, and that's big value already. Mid lane turret, as we always say, it's the biggest value turret in the game. The first tier mid lane turret just gives you so much space and gives you capabilities to go for any parts of the lane, but now top side is going to be the trade of MDH Esports.
Yeah, and they got the trade back when it comes to turrets, so overall, it's not the worst thing in the world, but the thing is, that is 3 objectives traded only for 1 in favor for Pikachu, giving them a 4k gold lead in 12 minutes.
Oh no. This is bad. Because right now, with the towers, 3 towers down on the hands of MDH Esports, this Baron could potentially be a threat for them. The calling though.
Will not push through, will not get the kill onto Ngokbe. Really, really stalemate rather, for this game 3. Everyone's playing it very safe considering that this is match point for both teams. The winner here will go to the grand finals.
Yeah, you know why it's a stalemate? Because Pikachu is not engaging. They don't want to engage. They want this. This 4k gold lead is ideal for them. Because if they give any big fights against MDH Esports, because their composition was geared towards engages. Very reactive. Lilia, Yumi, you can't just engage to these champions, and Pikachu knows that. That's why they're not engaging. This stalemate is good, because at least they're going to be getting their lead, they're going to be getting their items, and it's not going to be a problem for them, because as long as Akali gets strong, they have late game threat, they have backline threat, and that is what they want to do.
Yeah, and another thing is, Lucian built into a cleaver then to a Manamune. So, this is going to be a late game fest regardless.
Yeah. Because the Black Cleaver to the Manamune, just one the culling, could just potentially shred all of the armor of whoever is in front of them. And that's basically the utility of what the Lucian could give here. Not a lot of damage compared to Crit Lucian, but the amount of utility, the amount of help that you can give the team is enough. It's basically built towards late game fights. So, MDH Esports, what are they going to do here? They have a lot of options, but they're losing every inch of that because their towers are down and they can't even get any fights against Peekachu.
Yeah, and right now Peekachu is just hovering on top side. Aatrox as well is there. Be a potential fight. No information for MDH Esports in their very own jungle. Very risky to just maneuver around on their own side of the map.
Yeah, the damage coming from the Caitlyn slowly becoming scary. Peekachu needs to think about what they're gonna do next. I believe now they can go for the Baron because Lucian does have 3 items after this one back from Aya. That's why it is going to be easy enough for them to take the Baron right now. And with them not having any vision in that part of the map, MDH doesn't have any idea if they try to start something there.
Wait, Lucian is going for the Hullbreaker. This is like classic type of strategy wherein the mid laners go for Hullbreaker and just pressure it in the side lanes. And it's really, really interesting. She wants to match the pace that Garen is doing, the pressure that Garen wants to do.
Yeah, but remember, Hullbreaker has been nerfed for ranged champions. And it's not as effective as it was before. That's why this might not be enough if it's against a Garen. But if you have the item advantage anyway, doesn't matter.
For sure. Let's see, because everything's just being so quiet for everyone. It's a vision game for now, waiting to build items and waiting to build more XP, building more gold for everyone. Because at this time, if MDH Esports forces a fight, they are at a level disadvantage alongside with a gold deficit.
Nobody wants to make any mistakes. And Peekachu, MDH Esports, the pressure is just building against each other. Because the longer the game goes, the easier it is to just take down one champion. One blip, and that's already a kill. Especially when you have an Akali on your team. It would be easy to delete just one champion from the game pretty easily, and that cuts their damage down in half. And MDH, wow, starting the fight in the bot lane already. And this is what I'm saying, Infinity. Even if you have the Hullbreaker, if it's against a Garen, still not going to be easy.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with the silence, along with the Damage and Justice, that could give you a lot more defense as well with the skill kit of Garen. Hard time for Aya. We'll see though, because if you're looking at how Caitlyn and Lilia is proceeding into the bottom lane, Aya is in danger.
Look at how they position themselves. They want to fastly get the kill on the bottom side of the map and also get some vision. But with them not having any teleports on both sides, still gonna be a hard fight. And considering that Claria has been setting up some vision at the bottom river of the map, oh, this is scary though. If Yuumi has been seen here and they start the fight, if the Yuumi falls down, that's not what you want if you're fighting this against a 5v5.
Once CC, she's gone. We'll see. Final chapter is available. Everyone's ultimate are ready to go. One team fight, one engage can happen. Everything will go down. Mega Inferno Bomb.
What?
Produces a lot of damage onto Lilia. Look at Akali's positioning. This is perfect. If they can go into the back flank, Akali can dominate every single one. And now Pikachu is starting that fight. Lilia is gone. The jungler is removed away from this game. And Akali going in for the back flank. Kills down with a perfect execution. Followed through. Garen is alone. This is a 5-man roam. They pin her down. And Pikachu will get the 4 kills that he wants. 2 objectives are open.
Baron is available. They can just take that. They could have ended the game there, right then and there, but they tried to play it safe. They want to get the Baron and just take the Ocean Drake and go for another day. That was a great fight. The way it started though, they wanted to get in front of everybody, but MDH Esports, as we said, the composition was not built for engaging. And Peekachu is not giving them any chances to engage. They ran away after the final chapter. That gave them enough space to use their ultimates and also gave Akali space to take the backline down in the ground, and that's how it all started. Now Ocean Drake is available, they have the Baron, and they can just take that easily because they are not in the position to contest this.
Yeah, and Akali's patience, the trigger discipline, quote unquote, is massive. It's crazy to think about. She was waiting for the right opportunity. When Peekachu went all in, she just waited for a bit and then went through to assassinate the back lines. Jace was gone after that. So a lot of these damage are quite planned out. Peekachu is just the mega mind right now of this game.
The difference between the AP carry and also the ADC is that whenever, oh, just need one burst, they want to shake the kill top side. But as I'm saying, the damage, the amount of burst that they can have is just different. Killing spree top side, they got the kill already.
Akali stays his enchant with a shroud.
Well, then
Invisibility for a while,
Oh!
but Jace won't be able to secure that kill. Regardless if it's a 1-for-1, they burn down a Baron buff.
Stasis down, have the Baron. Still a 2-for-1, but mid lane is gonna fall down. Infinity, this is quite scary. Still, great win for them. It's a 3v1, or make that a 3v4, or make that a 2v4 because they have a Yumi. So one lane could potentially be taken down.
Or in the front line with Stasis enchant. Quite questionable, but right now they're pushing through. They're pressuring in the bottom lane. Claria is proceeding through. They get the turret once again in the bot lane. Opens everything away. Nexus is going to be one left standing. And Peekachu will defeat MDH Esports to go to the grand finals.
This is what we're saying. This is the composition that we're expecting from a team of this caliber. Peekachu playing around the draft. Winning the draft was important for them against MDH Esports. Game 2, they lost the drafting pace, but when they did it seriously, when they drafted to win, this is what happens. A dominating performance, not giving any space. Akali is so strong, and their damage is just in a different caliber against the members of MDH.
And I love to see it happen. Peekachu has won it through and through up against MDH Esports in what we can call a roller coaster of a series wherein they got a 2-1, lost their second game, but made it back to secure the grand final spot. But the thing is, they're fighting up against City Dogs in the next series, and that will be a series to look out for.
A way different series here, Infinity. Now that City Dogs has been waiting, we have said a while ago the damage from a Ziggs, the damage potential, just one Mega Inferno Bomb could potentially change the fight, hitting 3 members. The reason why they lost there, the stalemate was broken when they used the Mega Inferno Bomb and half HP onto the Lilia already. That started the fight in the favor of Peekachu just because of one ultimate, and that just gives us an idea of how strong, how great a Ziggs could be at the right hands.
Right now, this is something that Peekachu has to prepare for. The draft, the bans, the picks, the strategy in game. These are the things that they have to think about, that they have to strategize before we proceed into the grand final series.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure City Dogs is ready on what to ban against this team. They know what to ban against the members of Peekachu because they banned the Nami. But if they're going to be playing like this might be a very interesting fight that we're going to be seeing against City Dogs and Peekachu. Because remember, most of these players coming in from City Dogs, they also had a lot of experience in pro play. Most of them, I know from Liab Esports back in the day. 3 players from them are from Liab Esports back in the day, so I'm quite scared right here for Peekachu.
And something to be fearful of, or just a trivia for everyone, if City Dogs win this current FSL Wild Rift Open, I believe Gia would be on a 5 championship streak, 5 or 6 championship streak already for FSL. And that is an achievement that only one player could make, which is Gia.
And she also won the SEA Games Wild Rift Women's Tournament with her team. So that's a lot of achievements from Gia alone. And also, most of these players are very decorated too. With Rogi also in the mid lane, a very, very strong player. Akali, Zed, Jace, whenever you let her pick these key champions from her team, it's always going to be a priority and always going to be very scary. A lot of them have strong champions in their own right. So how is Peekachu going to approach this on this next game?
And we will find out later on. But before then, we're going to take a short break. I'm Infinity and this is Dash. After this, it's a grand finals.